Hi, thanks for joining this new video. Today I have a quick review of the Nubia Pad Pro. Let's begin. This review is going to be very short because it is actually a tablet that is based on the Red Magic Nova Gaming tablet, or the Red Magic tablet is based on this one, whatever, however you want to see it, but I already have the review available of that Red Magic tablet, and believe me, they are very similar. So basically I'm going to tell you the differences that we're going to be able to find in this model, and the rest of the features you can learn about in the Red Magic video. In this case, it will be available in 3 different configurations. The most basic version is 8 GB of RAM with 256 GB of storage. That option does not exist in Red Magic. That will be one of the main differences, so here we could find a slightly tighter price of 10,699 pesos, which is more or less $575, although remember that the prices here are not the same as over there. The alternative versions offering 12 gigs of RAM paired with 256 gigs of storage, or 16 gigs of RAM with 512 gigs of storage, are priced identically to the Red Magic versions. This similarity extends even to their pricing. Naturally, accessories including keyboards and cases will be offered as well, just like with the Red Magic tablet. Let's discuss the design, as it'll remain unchanged. The key difference is that without an advanced cooling system or fan, it will be lighter at 523 grams. Surprisingly, the Red Magic tablet won't be much heavier either, just 7 grams more, and the rest of the design remains the same, featuring a unibody aluminum alloy design. It's quite good, 7.3mm thick. Another difference you'll notice is that here we have a USB-C 3.2 port, whereas in the Red Magic it was a USB 3.1 Gen 2. However, for practical purposes they function the same. As you can see, in all aspects they are quite similar. On screen we'll have the same 10.9-inch LCD with 144 Hz. It's curious they kept the same specs. They might have saved by using a lower refresh rate, but they kept the quality, so the screen will be very good. In sound, we'll find the same experience, 4 speakers, same codec, same quality. The difference will be in vibration. Because the Red Magic Nova Gaming tablet has a vibration engine, which is useful for gaming feedback. In this case, that engine is absent, as with many other tablets. In cameras, the front camera remains the same, but interestingly, the rear camera will differ. In the gaming-focused tablet, there's a sensor with 50 megapixels, whereas here we have 13 megapixels. In everyday use, it will seem the same, with no noticeable difference, but I find it interesting. From my perspective, it would have made more sense if the gamer's version had a simpler sensor. In the productivity-focused version, we have the high-res sensor. But practically, it's the same. Both record 4K, don't scan QR codes and can scan documents. It's the same. The software remains identical. In fact, we will even discover game space on this tablet, which I find quite intriguing. It's safe to say that this is essentially the same Red Magic tablet. However, it lacks a fan, a cooling system and a vibration motor. Yet the software and numerous internal components are precisely the same. With that said, let's proceed. Regarding security, it's the same with a fingerprint reader on the power button, allowing up to 5 registrations. The other features are identical to the Red Magic tablet. Within the battery, we will discover the identical capacity of 10 mAh. However, there are noticeable differences in the tests I conducted, and this has a straightforward explanation. The processor in this tablet lacks overclocking capabilities. On the other hand, the Red Magic processor is a lead investment, meaning it does have overclocking. With numerous cooling systems, it possesses significant power, which it can sustain at a very high level for an extended period. For instance, when attempting to download as quickly as possible on this Nubia tablet, we achieved a duration of 4 hours and 6 minutes, while on the Red Magic device it took 3 hours and 34 minutes. However, I believe this is balanced out by the power, meaning on the Red Magic you will experience quicker responses, though it does consume more power. The response here will still be fast, but it can't be sustained for as long because it lacks advanced cooling capabilities. But that helps make up for better battery life. In the background test was also very similar. 4 hours with 6 minutes on this tablet, 3 hours with 48 on the Red Magic one. Very small differences, but at the end of the day there is a difference here, and in this case it supports 80 watts charge just like the Red Magic tablet. In my test with 15 minutes it recovered 36% of the energy. In 30 minutes it reached 62%, which shows it regains energy quite quickly. However, as you might expect, the last stage tends to slow down. Eventually it completed charging in around an hour. This includes turbocharging, disactive, and all the other software features for battery protection and more. These are the same as those found in Red Magic. We reached the performance point, and this is where I was already expecting to see a difference. Here comes a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, while the Red Magic version is equipped with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 leading version. The performance will essentially be the same on both devices. However, consider that perhaps during an extended performance lasting several hours, Red Magic might provide a slight increase in power. But in reality, the performance will be practically identical. So we're going to bypass the performance test on this tablet and head directly to the gaming test. The reason is that in everyday performance, this tablet will be excessively powerful, very much like the Red Magic tablet. Therefore, we won't be focusing on regular performance tests, as it's clear that this tablet is designed to handle daily tasks with ease and efficiency, similar to the capabilities of the Red Magic tablet. Let's see its gaming performance, noting it offers the same software tools as the Red Magic tablet's game space. In Call of Duty, it defaults to very high graphics and rate. We can max out both or choose ultra rate with medium quality graphics. We place a high priority on the quality of graphics initially, and you are aware that these processors are capable of supporting a wide array of additional effects. In this particular scenario, by operating in this configuration, we can confidently assure you that it delivers an absolutely spectacular performance. It is undoubtedly among the most powerful tablets we have encountered. The performance, it doesn't have any low peaks, it's really quite fluid. When you're recording the screen, you'll notice a few more low peaks, and you'll even observe that the screen recording drops to a somewhat lower bitrate. However, overall, we could generally say that the experience truly is quite good, particularly when you consider its price, and even though it doesn't have as much cooling as Red Magic. So offering, if you manage its temperature well with the ultra rate setting, you'll note that SAE reaches 90 frames per second. However, once again, the screen recording appears at a low bit rate, so during very intense movements, you might notice a slightly pixelated result. But overall, if we are going to offer a very good fluidity without heating, if you don't record the screen and don't require high quality in screen recording during scenes with a lot of taking action is advised. Then we played Kark Street, adjusting all the settings to their maximum levels. In this scenario, it warmed up slightly more, reaching 42.8 degrees Celsius. However, keep in mind that this was under the most complex graphics settings. It still maintained very few low peaks, which didn't really affect the gameplay or cause any issues like that. Even at this temperature, you can still play relatively comfortably, holding the tablet in your hands without needing a gamepad, which made the experience quite positive overall. Then, predictably, we played Genshin Impact. It's set to high quality, and we increased it to very high at 60 frames per second with all the settings at their maximum possible level. Once again, the experience has been exceptionally good, even when below 40 degrees Celsius. It seems that it doesn't require as much cooling as the Red Magic tablet, yet it still maintains a very good experience. You can play smoothly with perfect stability without any jitter or anything like that. It performs extremely well. Finally, we played Bright Memory using the heaviest configuration. This means setting it to 120 frames per second and turning all settings to the highest possible. However, in this case, it didn't quite reach 120 frames per second. Instead, it stayed at 90%. Despite this, it still maintains a good level of stability throughout the gameplay. Very high without extreme heating, and that this game is one of the most complicated that we usually test, although I repeat, the screen recording does not look with as much definition as we would have liked, but overall it is a very good experience. In conclusion, unfortunately this tablet does not make sense. It's not due to its quality, as it is actually very good. However, considering with the same price and storage configurations as the Red Magic proposal, which also includes a fan and ample cooling, I struggle to see the rationale behind this proposal. Essentially, it resembles the Red Magic Nova gaming tablet, yet it lacks a vibration motor and features a processor without overclocking capabilities. This might result in slightly reduced heating and lower battery consumption, but the difference isn't very significant. It's slightly lighter than the Red Magic proposal, but they're essentially the same. Although here, You will find a slightly more affordable option since it comes with less RAM in its basic configuration. This option might make a bit more sense if you're looking to save some extra money while still enjoying the same Red Magic experience. All the other features remain unchanged. For now, we have reached the conclusion of this brief video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you know you can let us know. We will see you next time.